$200. Jarulna really cares about this woe is me backstory. You came from a broken home and you dunked your dignity in the dumpster because you decided to not get professional help for your mental issues. Godspeed.
Your response to bads_exe?
Mental issues are kind of shaky.
You have trust
I don't
issues,
really.
I can tell
I
you
have
that
trust
right now.
issues. Yes, of course I do. But then again, you can't breach.
Hold on just a sec.
Mike Davis donated $200. I'm not gay, but I'd go gay for Waller. With his fiery red locks thrown in his face, and his piercing gaze that cuts through my soul like a sharpened blade. Ever since I discovered Waller, I got off Viagra.
Welcome to the Whatever podcast.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks, Mike, I think.
That's crazy. Hey, man, we're going to go to a Burger King afterwards, Mike, just for you, bro. Can you tell me where the nearest Burger King is? 24 hours?
He owns 300 of them.
He owns
Must be
300. No, that was Mike
the same
Davis.
guy?
Yeah, I think that was Mike Davis,
so-
wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was Mike Davis.
Mike,
Continue.
you're in Miami, right?
Yeah.
Mike Davis, do you own any Burger Kings in Miami? Could he host you at the Burger King? Like,
Sure, bro.
I mean, maybe after what he said, maybe
Yeah,
not.
that one's tough. That one's
It
tough.
might be.
Yeah.
It might be tough. Sorry, we got two TTSs that came through, one right after the other. You guys were kind of having an exchange. Justin, did you want to come back in, or did you?
Go ahead.
No problem at all. I said what I had to say. I do believe that a man is going to want to take charge and control the relationship.
course, and I
And
would
oftentimes I think that women, particularly ones like you that are going to be a bit more headstrong, they're going to want to hold on to their independence until they find a man that they find is worth letting go. What's really hard for a woman nowadays is to find a man worth the fuck enough for you to be able to let go. And I think that'll be one of your biggest challenges moving forward, particularly because of how headstrong you are. You know, and that's all I really have to say about it. If you find that right guy and he comes through and he's just like you, just everything that you think you want is no offense, not true. When that man walks into your life and you're going to know, you're going to be able to put a lot of walls down that you wouldn't previously be able to put down because the man is worth you being able to do it. And when you trust you can be inside his frame and you're safe inside of that, you will let go.
No, I absolutely agree.
So
you know?
that's what you said was that she's gonna have a hard time finding a guy because of how headstrong she is. So she.
But
Well,
he's been
she-
critical of men, too.
Yeah,
No, I know,
yeah,
I know.
and,
I'm saying,
and
I
her
think that
particularly, she's a little bit more boisterous.
I think
if I'm being
that
fair,
is something
you are.
that gets in the way of me finding a guy because.
What's that?
Because you're headstrong?
Yeah, because I'm
No, you're not. You're a sweetheart. You and her are two different
No, I'm really
things.
headstrong. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, I'm very independent. I have goals for myself. I think that comes off as intimidating to a lot of guys.
Why do you think that?
Well, that's my only assumption. I might be wrong,
can-
but
can
I don't.
yourself-
I feel like people aren't
I actually
Like,
think
I
it's the
feel like
I think
you're
it's the
right.
pipeline more than anything. Can I give you guys all a piece of advice? You can write this down. Do whatever with it you want. I would find a local chapter of the SPCA and start volunteering there. I would find as many soup kitchens and food pantries as I could and start volunteering there. I have found empathetic human beings are the ones that you probably want to be with, people who show a level of kindness. I throw charity events specifically for one of the reasons is generally people who are narcissists and psychopaths can't keep coming to charities where they don't get anything out of it. Wounded warriors, anything for underprivileged children. Shout out to the Midnight Mission in Los Angeles. Shout out to Operations Blankets of Love, a domestic abuse charity, anything like that. The people that are associated with that, I would not only would I try to meet other people I want to group with, but I would also invite a date on that. For me, frequently, it used to be my first date would be somebody that I was interested in. We'd go volunteer at a soup kitchen. We'd go volunteer at a food pantry. Because the reason why is like a lot of the times you guys are talking about like cruelty and a lack of empathy. I promise you that will work better than Tinder when it comes to personality if you guys started doing that. But I haven't heard any of you say that because your method by which you're meeting people tends to be solely online. And listen, I know Roland and I talk about this all the time. Instagram is the #1 dating app in the world. And I agree that it's the #1 dating app in the world, but it used to not be like that. I'm old, and I remember when it wasn't like that before. And so I would recommend you guys try some IRL stuff where you're actually volunteering and trying to serve other people. And when you find somebody else in that method, especially with your values as a Christian, I think you're going to be shocked at how awesome it is. And I don't mean just going to church. I mean finding someone else who's doing something for wounded warriors or especially for animal rescue. That is the catch-all for everyone. Everyone loves animal rescue. So that's what I would recommend for all of you guys to, if you're having trouble finding someone who's compassionate or finding someone who's trustworthy, that's what I would do.
If I could just add to that, Michael, good chance you'll find a good guy at those places. You might also find someone who committed like a misdemeanor and they're doing community service hours. Just saying,
Yeah.
just a caveat to Michael's thing.
And you might find a simp too. I mean, there's that risk, right?
There's that too.
Right.
There's that
Yeah,
too.
there's a bit of psychopathy that works for love. There's such thing as dark love for sure.
All right, we have
So I do help people, but to a certain extent. Everybody deserves
What?
kindness to a certain extent. You could help all these people. Don't get me wrong, in a homeless shelter, and some of them have some roughed up lives where were in the child, they were a child and they messed up, and now they can't progress as adult in life, and that's why they're on the streets. But then there's other people who have came from a great lifestyle, great parents. They just messed up with drugs. And then with drugs, they messed up, and then now they're in a washed up place.
I think,
and that's what I do.
yeah,
I help them.
Yeah, I think
help them.
we're confusing two different things. I don't want you to date the people at
You
the
don't
homeless
need to
shelter.
date
I
bums.
want you to
But
help
I'm
literal
just saying,
bums.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
I do
okay.
help them, and I do help them
Yeah.
to a certain extent. I do help the people who are drugged out, that they do show that progress that they want to change. Everyone needs a little bit of, realization of their lifestyle.
What are you talking about?
He's not
I-
saying
I-
date
I-
homeless
homeless
guys.
people. I
He's
help-
saying
I
like when
help-
you
I
go
help-
there, there'll be people there that you might want, like at the
Yes,
soup
I do wanna
kitchen
help.
too.
I build
But
my
then
friend
there's-
groups. I specifically build my friend groups around charity.
I understand.
Wait,
that.
I'm sorry. Were
But,
you saying to
I'm
meet
just-
somebody there to continue going
Like
on
someone
those?
Bro, it's not that heavy. It's not that fucking
not
heavy.
that
It's not that
It's
heavy.
not that
We'll talk about-
complex.
Like, we
How
don't even
about
talk
this?
about fucking community service and shit.
Oh, to meet someone there and then continue
meet
going with
somebody
them.
there.
While they're volunteering.
Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
I heard
All right,
you wrong.
all right, okay,
I'm just
okay.
saying.
That's literally
I
what
was
he
just saying
said.
that people in this world deserve a certain amount of kindness, to a certain extent. When you see a homeless person out in the streets, by the freeways and everything, asking for money, what is your first thought?
Whoa, is it what?
Do you-
What are you talking about? The empty platitudes here. We're gonna move on from that. I don't know, like where you're.
You're off
I'm
topic.
saying, like,
Dude,
I'm
you are
saying-
so off
Dating
topic.
show. We
Wait,
can
wait.
we can
You're
talk
way
about
off
the
topic.
nuances.
You're a great
of-
humanitarian.
Okay.
I mean, we can talk about the nuances of humanitarian work, but kind of unrelated. You know?
Okay, might I
What's
just
up?
add something? Honestly, I love your advice, but most people I know nowadays, they don't want a good guy. They don't really want that. They want to be.
I do.
I think I might be able to fix this with a sentence. You want a man that can slit a throat and hold a baby in the same day. That's what you want.
Yes. Yeah.
That's who you're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's at Michael's event, but he can also be Michael when Michael's in the military.
I'm sorry. Was that sarcasm or like were you actually being for real?
No,
like,
I'm being for real. Like a lot of people, like the partners that they choose, I don't.
No,
know.
I'm talking about you. You
Me?
specifically. That's
no.
what he was asking.
But what was the question?
If you would be with somebody who would slit a throat and hold a baby at the
You're
same
fucking
time.
right.
hell
That's what
yeah,
you
hell
want
yeah,
as a
yeah,
woman.
yeah.
That's what
That's
you
what
want.
I
you
want
want.
someone who
Yep.
not afraid of guns and shit. Like I want
Absolutely.
someone who can hold their own. Like,
That's the kind of man
I
you
don't
want.
want a fucking soy boy liberal cuck or whatever. I don't.
You
fucking
want a man. You want a man that could,
Yeah,
could
I
be
want a
good
man
with your
who's
kids
a
and
man
at the same
who's
time
not
kill
afraid
somebody
to be a
that came in
man.
your
Yeah,
house. That's
yeah,
what you want.
Yeah, 'cause,
So no
like,
blue hair then.
Hell no! What
Okay,
the
good.
fuck, dude?